I'm Sonia God from Morena, Madhya Pradesh. I am graduate and pursue my post-graduation MA from English Literature. Apart from this, if you concern about my hobbies, I love to teaching, dancing, and cooking. And and apart from this, I really love to do other activities regarding to my schools. And nowadays I'm enjoying to have a conversation on this YouTube with co-learners and so many tutors. And the very fantastic thing about me that I am a student of Rajni Verma ma'am. So I feel I am so very blessed. Because of her today I am capable to construct my thought and to reaching out the people like you who is on this YouTube. So that's all about me. And sorry,
Great.
the one thing, I am professionally, I teach in a school, I run my own school, and
Oh,
along my it's my own school, so I work there as an English teacher and
great.
running work there. So yeah, that's all about
That's
me.
great. And so, are you still learning? I mean, are you still taking classes from Rajni
Yeah, I
or
am taking class, but not speaking class. I'm taking her like group session.
group
I'm also
sessions?
there. Yeah.
Great. And how did you find my channel? Because of her? I mean, my video is doing great on her channel. Like, it's gone so popular. Like, last time I
Yeah.
checked, it was around 2 lakhs or something.
Yeah, I have subscribed her channel, so her all videos which upload. So because of her, I visit your channel, and then I was listening to your videos, conversation with her, and I feeling so much great that he's a guy who work in schools, and you are looking same like my age. So I thought that let's
Yes, yes.
go
Hmm.
with him that what her purpose and what's her mentality to teach English in a school. So that's why I really want to talk to you. So through this
Great.
channel, I think our thought of teaching English in a school could explore to the people that how we should teach is English in schools, especially. So, what do
Exactly.
you think? Is in English subject grammar is compulsory or subject question answers and all the material subject material is necessary? What do you think?
Uh, First of all, I don't think we need to separate grammar because grammar is the fundamental of any language, especially if it is not our first language, then grammar is, I think, the top priority. You know, I never learned grammar in my school, so I know the
Yeah.
importance of grammar. If you have the rules in your head, you will be able to construct your ideas clearly, and you won't have to think a lot.
Yes.
And I think we cannot separate grammar. If you, for example, in our schools, English is seen as a subject, and
Yeah.
like any other subject, for example, history, science, and any other subjects, we try to teach them in that manner. But I think it should be more vocal. Students need to speak more and engage in more activities. Of course, there are four components in any language: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. So we have to follow that curriculum also. And without grammar, I don't think, apart from listening, if you leave that part, none of other three part would be as good as rest of the things. For example, I'm going to give one more example here because if we are writing something, so I believe writing is more difficult because
Yeah.
you have to construct your ideas more clearly there. And if you are good at grammar and if you are taught in a manner that grammar is not, because where we come from, grammar is seen as a burden, right? We think that
Yeah.
it is too lengthy and we are not able to grasp the rules. But for me, grammar is first priority, especially if I'm teaching young students. And then when it comes to speaking, let them speak. There, I don't emphasize on grammar that you have to speak always correctly. But when it comes to writing and when it comes to comprehension, grammar is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. You know what I faced in my school while I teach in my class and
Hmm.
every classes, then I recommend him to write down the answers of the questions, vocabularies,
Yes.
meanings, answer questions. Then my student feels so burdened and monotonous. They said, "Ma'am,
Hmm.
why are you doing this? We don't want to learn this. We don't want to learn these long answers. Because of this learning, or we are getting our lose interest from the
Interest.
English language. Want
Yes.
to read English. We don't want to take this English class. So I feel that really these long answers and questions answers tragedies question answer system is really
Hmm.
very burden for the student, and because of it in their exams they are not capable to find the good marks. You know,
Hmm.
20 marks out
And
of
then they feel
50.
demotivated.
Yeah, totally demotivated. So I feel so much sorry for him. And so you tell me that what we should follow. Should we
Uh,
stop to write the answers, questions, or we? And I realized it when I taught him the grammatical portion, grammars regarding to speaking, vocabularies. Then she
hmm.
feels so much interest, and they all said, "Ma'am, please don't write the answers. Just tell us the grammatical." And it is very interesting.
Yes. This is what you can do,
Yeah.
and this is what I also do. I'm not a trained teacher, and I'm learning from my experience. And I experiment, experiment in a manner that I listen to them and I try my own things. It's not that I'm always listening to them. It's a cooperative class. For example, if you mentioned that your students are not feeling motivated enough to write answers. So this is what you should do. First, teach them that comprehension is a thing which only can be grasped if you do it regularly. And writing is one of them. So what I do, for example, especially while teaching literature, I tell them to read the story themselves, right?
Yeah.
First, I let them read the story and I tell them to underline every word that they don't know. Every word, just underline it. And second day, first day is spent on reading. Just read the whole text. For example, they have to read short stories. So they can read it within a class. So first they read the whole text and they underline each and every word they don't know.
So,
When they go home, they write down the meaning right behind that word in the margins, in the spaces, in the book, they write there. So the second time they are reading it, they will be able to understand the text better. And then I explain them. So they understand the story, right? They have everything that they need to know. They need to know. So in next class, what I do is let them write answers. It's not that I assist. For example, if they have to write answers, I don't go and I start writing on my board. I tell them
yeah.
to try and write your own answers. So first they try, I check their answers, and then I go and provide them alternatives that this is how you should have written it. So this process becomes more interesting because first they have already tried by them, they have tried themselves. Second, I assist. Third, I provide them answers. So this task, and they are able to enjoy it. And you should make them understand that comprehension is something which cannot be learned within a day. It takes time.
Yeah.
And for that, even if they're not understanding something, if the text is difficult, they just have to read it. There is no other alternatives. For example, if I am assisting them and if I'm explaining my text English to Hindi, then it's not going to help them, right?
Yeah.
So first, they have to read the whole text, underline each and every word. It's a long process, but within a week they will be able to uh, every part will be covered: vocabulary part, grammar section, writing section, reading section. See, you don't have to separate everything. Everything is going simultaneously without even them realizing that they are learning each thing simultaneously.
Yeah.
You
But
got my point, or did I?
yeah, definitely. And I would also try in my class too.
Sure, you should try. We need to experiment. Otherwise, like we were taught, our teachers used to explain their stories and they used to write the answers on board and we had to cram it. So this is not the solution. We have to make them do everything and we are there to assist.
Yeah. I think it has become tradition of every teacher. Just find the answers themselves and write down on the blackboard and give the student
Hmm.
that learn and mug up these answers for the exam papers. And because
Yes,
of that,
yes.
student lost their interest for learning this language. And
Hmm.
apart from this, I want to ask you one thing another. There are a lot of student who is not capable to converse English to Hindi,
Yes.
and so how they can find their answers themselves. And for
That's
this
what I
they
told
need to
you.
have YouTubes and mobile phones. And
No, no,
today's
no.
yeah.
I think that's what I told earlier. That first part is comprehension, reading the text. If comprehension simply means to understand the text in our own language, right? Comprehension means samajna. So if they are not able to comprehend the text, that's the first step. They have to read the whole text, even if they are not understanding. And while they are reading, they have to underline each and every word that they don't get the meaning of. So the second day, what they can do, write down their answers from a dictionary with the help of a smartphone, they can do it. And in that process, they won't have to cram those words, vocabulary, difficult words, they won't have to cram. Because while they are reading it, they are learning the words in context. You're getting my
Yeah.
point? So simply, there are only two types of words: active words and passive words. And active words simply means the words we use while speaking, while writing. They are our active words. And passive means we know the meaning, but we don't use them. So passive vocabulary only improves when we are reading the actual text. And in that process, we don't have to, cram. We don't have to look for every and each words. They can guess the meaning. For example, you are an adult, you are doing your literature degree now in MA. So you don't have to look for dictionary all the time. You can guess the meaning
Yeah.
in context that this is what this means. But for students, for younger students, what they need to do, they need to look for dictionary every time. So that process can become little challenging. So that's why the first step is just to read it. Even if they are not understanding, just keep on reading. And second day, and when they are home, they can just look for the words.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you are correct.
Just try,
I'm
see
totally.
how it works for you.
Yeah, of course. Tomorrow I would start it in my class. Okay.
Hmm.
So,
And yeah, go on.
yeah. So, in teaching the English subject in a classroom, so what kind of strategy we should follow? There is another good technique that is dictations writing. So, so that student could improve their vocabularies. So, do you agree with it that we should follow this dictation techniques and dictation kind and reading and English to Hindi translation, regular five meanings, providing him the five meanings. So, do you agree with all these things?
You can do dictation thing, you can make them learn some important words, but don't make them cram everything, because
Yeah.
just learning words are not going to help them, right? Make them understand how those words are used in context. Context simply means how they can use a same word. They can use the same word in different manners, and this can only happen when they are actually reading the text.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I want to know, like your school. Tell me about it. How is it going for you?
Yeah, it's going very well now. It's the first
Hmm.
year for us, and because of that, I need to focus a lot so we could bring us something new in a study field.
Oh,
And
great.
in my school, there are a lot of students belongs from the town areas and villages
Hmm.
area, so they are very very loose in English subject. And when they
I can relate.
listen then they also so they agar that ma'am we want to speak like you, but we are not
Yes.
even capable to read the books, so how we can get fluent to speaking like you.
Just for example, if it is your school, then you can try different things and make
Yes.
it more speaking centric. You don't have to follow the traditional thing. Of course, I believe reading is the most important part of any language, because I love reading and I see how it can make this language more interesting and stories. So of course those things are important, but if you want to have a separate class where they can just communicate, then just go for it. Don't feel hesitant that you can conduct those classes twice a week and make it similar to the topics which are in your textbook. Your English
Oh,
stories, literature part, make it relevant to that topic. For example, if the story is about a certain theme, then discuss it in your class, and let them have the freedom to speak. Just don't correct them every time they are making mistakes. Overall, you can provide a structures that this is how you should have spoken. Once they are done, just give me a moment. And by the way, how did you learn English? Just by talking to Rajni ma'am, or uh, did you have anything to do with your school?
um, prior I was very fascinated about this language since my 5th to 6th class, but because of the
Hmm.
lack of the resources and lack of the motivation and guidance, I I couldn't be able to construct my thoughts and even to speak. But after so long period of time, in my first year, MA first year, when I was scrolling my phone, the same incidents happens with me. I saw Rajni ma'am, and she was conducting these conversation classes. Then I find something new, that what is going on in this YouTube. Let's talk, let's
Hmm.
follow her. Then I followed her, started to follow her since 1 year, and finally we have conducted one session together. And because
Hmm.
of the 8 to 9 month hard work, finally our last session has uploaded in their channel, on their channel, with me.
Hmm.
So I'm very happy happy for that. And
Great.
now
Hmm.
that my goal is to learning teach this language in my school, and I
Hmm.
want to bring something new in my
Hmm.
school, in my students life. And so they couldn't feel this hesitation from this language like me. And
Hmm.
that's why I'm very engrossed with language, and I'm hard trying to put my all effort to learning this language, so I could I could manage her future. In
Yes.
future they could speak very well, you know.
Yeah, you are doing great, by the way. Just thinking
Yeah,
about it, for example, I'm also working in a school and I have to follow the guidelines there. I can't do everything with my own thing, right?
yeah,
So I have to,
definitely. Because of
but
this
now
we
that you have, Mhm.
because
Now that
yeah,
you have your own school, you can try different things, right? You can
yeah.
experiment. But I have enough freedom. Like for my classes, uh,
Mm.
like I have enough freedom, so I try different things. But I was in a different school, and boy, don't even ask how difficult it was to manage. But here, I am enjoying my process. Even I can read my own things, even during classes. So
Yeah.
I make it enough friendly enough. They can ask questions. There is no like even if the students who are not comfortable because I'm teaching in a village, so their English is not good. It is literally it took me around 6 to 8 months just to make them good enough to comprehend the text by themselves, and they are doing great now. So I'm enjoying it. Let's see if I can enjoy even in future too.
So how do you feel in school? Do you don't feel that pressurized that in the classrooms we can't provide something from ourselves because of the pressure
No,
of
no.
the
In my yes, yes.
uh,
I used to feel that way. I used to feel that way, but this school is the currently where I'm teaching. It is great. I have enough freedom. I can do my own things, and the students are in a single class. There are around 15 to 16 students, so it is easier to manage. Just 15 to 16, sorry, 15 to 16 students, and it is easier to manage,
yeah.
right? And I have enough freedom. I can try whatever I want to. If I want to make it a conversational class, I can do it. So just enjoy it. I would also recommend, don't focus on just writing, providing them answers and making them cram them. No, it's not going to help them.
Yeah, I want to give him the root thing. I don't want to make
Yes.
their on the low players. So after finishing their education, they have to suffer like us to learning this
Hmm.
language by taking the class from tutors and learning the grammars, everything. So I want to provide this. It's like a simultaneous process during
Yes.
teaching. Want to focus upon the grammar, on the syllabus things, question answers things. I want to focus in more and more on the grammatical portion, because in the competitive examinations grammar would come,
Hmm.
and every student failed because of the grammar. So I really want to
Yes.
focus upon grammar portion, and apart from this speaking portion. Yeah, so that is
Yes.
my
Make
goal.
them reader and writer.
Yeah, let's see what happens in future. How will
Good
it
luck. Good
develop.
luck.
Thank you.
Yes. Sonia, I would love to connect to you in future too. We can talk about the books you have read, right? So
Yeah,
whenever you are free, just let me know. We'll connect. All right.
yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Bye.
Connect you.